Hello, beautiful people. My name is Kristen. Thank you for coming by my channel to see what I have been hauling for the past month. So it feels like I read like 10 books and then I pick up like 15. But that's life. That's okay. Do y'all visit little free libraries? I try to, when particularly the used bookstore doesn't want certain books of mine, I save them. I stop into 2 or 3 little free libraries that I visit on a regular basis and exchange them out. So one day I'm taking my books that I'm ready to drop off, and there was a gentleman there returning a book or putting a book in, and he handed it to me and said, "You really need to read this. It's really good. I just don't keep them." And it was Michael Connelly's Desert Star. Now supposedly I guess Michael Connelly writes mystery detective stories, and these are 2 different detectives that are kind of standard ones, kind of like Poirot and Marple, but this book has them both. So he said that I didn't have to have read the previous books to get this one, but if you know or you have any input on that, let me know. But I just thought it was a pretty cover, and why not give it a try? Every once in a while, I'm not a huge mystery whodunit kind of book, but every once in a while I get in that mood, so why not? It was free, right? Then for my book of the month club, I got The Lion Women of Tehran. I don't know much about this story. I know it starts from like some girl in childhood who meets some other women and kind of I think it's like a coming of age story, but anyway, it was beautiful copy. I like to have kind of adventure family stories in another setting, in another culture than mine. So that's what I'm hoping that book is, but I will review it and let you know. I ordered something from Amazon, just some car parts, y'all. And this book was, I think, $11, $13, something like that. And shipping was like, I don't have Amazon Prime, so shipping was going to be like $8. So why not pick up a Daniel James Brown book? This one, Facing the Mountain, an inspiring story of Japanese American patriots in World War II. So I remember my parents even telling me about what happened to a lot of the Japanese citizens here in the country when their country bombed Pearl Harbor, right? So it's an interesting debate and an interesting thing, America being this melting pot, and then what happens when there is global tensions or disruption. So, and this is the same author that wrote Boys in the Boat. So I really look forward to reading that story when I get to it. I just threw it in because it almost paid for itself with shipping. Now, I did do an exchange of a bunch of books that I was unhauling to the used bookstore, got a bunch of credit, and I picked up 5 books. So I got a couple of these cozy mysteries. This one I think is a Christmas one, Not a Creature Was Purring. So this one, Krista Davis, definitely goes on my December reading list. And then probably this one looks kind of beachy, but I'll probably end up reading it in the fall. It's still really hot and beachy-esque in Texas. I actually go to the beach in October, and it's perfectly fine to still swim then. Claws for Alarm. And so they're cats. Cat cozy mystery. I'm here for it. Sounds good to me. I also picked up this one, John Green. I picked this one up. It's Looking for Alaska. First drink, first prank, first friend, first girl, last words. So it's another kind of murder mystery adventure, but this book was in the stack of recommended by staff member, and staff member Natalie almost always has books that I've read and loved in her stack. So whenever I see something in her stack that she's loved and is recommending that I haven't read, I pick it up. So that's where this one came from. I'll let you know if it's any good. If anybody's read this one and wants to give any comments or, like a little intro blurb, that's cool. But I'm kind of going into it blind. That's kind of fun too. Now, I just finished reading Mr. Pennebraugh's 24-Hour Bookstore. It was lovely. I also saw this one in the used bookstore, same author, Robin Sloan. Sourdough, or Lois and Her Adventures in the Underground Market. So very long title, but random. And I really like the random, easygoing, very low key, very lightheartedness of the 24-hour bookstore. So I have this as kind of also kind of like the cozy reader, kind of like a palate cleanser. You know, not very long, probably could read it in a couple days just to refresh myself. Now I am picking up all of those books. I'm not sure when I'm getting to them, but I am going to start really quickly this version of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I got it at the used bookstore, and y'all, it's a pop-up book. It's a pop-up book. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is maybe my very favorite classic of all time. I love it so much. I mean, look at this. Look at this adventure. So I don't think it's going to take me very long to read it. This is my favorite page. It's not going to take me very long to read it. There's not very many words. It's just you get to sit here and look at it. Beware the Kraken. Wow, the whirlpools. This is awesome. This is just awesome. So I totally look forward to enjoying that. Now, the most exciting of all, y'all. I went back to visit my boys in Virginia, and the best used bookstore I've ever been to. I've been to several in this huge city in Houston, and I have not found one that is so good as this little bitty one in Winchester, Virginia. So I went there because what they have better than anybody else by far is classic author books. They have like backlist classic authors. And I adore Wilkie Collins, and I cannot find, I intentionally look for Wilkie Collins at every used bookstore I go to. And almost, they'll have Woman in White, they'll have the Moonstone, and that's it. So you're gonna not believe the goodness that I got. Look at this lovely collector edition of this Wilkie Collins book. I mean, how beautiful is that? It's like, let me see, it was 25 cents originally. Here it is out of the cover. Very fragile, but you know what? What's the point of having a book if you're not going to enjoy it? Look at that. It's Bertha, well, I can't read that handwriting. Bertha Neuwirth, March 1895. That's like handwritten. But how amazing is that little book? I'm going to keep him in the dust cover to keep him protected. But I'll actually probably read that. I'll probably, make sure my hands are at least clean, if not gloved. And I will probably actually read that book. Now, not quite as beat up and old, but also we've got this lovely copy. This is called The Queen of Hearts Little Novels by Wilkie Collins. And again, it has some writing, super old, beautiful. Yeah, I don't see the copyright date. Yeah, so it doesn't have a year stamped in it, but it's definitely old and beautiful. And I will carefully read it. Now, a newer version. Here's Wilkie Collins, A Rogue's Life. Haven't read this one. Nice little short novella. He writes a lot of suspense, but sometimes supernatural elements. Sometimes, the classic, you must pay the rent. I can't pay the rent. I'll be the hero. That kind of drama. So I love him. I got a couple hard copies or hardbound books of Wilkie Collins. This one's an illustrated guide to Wilkie Collins. Who wrote this? Andrew Gasson. And it's like a dictionary of Wilkie Collins. So all of Wilkie Collins studies, books, pictures. So I figured, as one of my very favorite authors, I probably need to have that in my life. As well as The Secret Life of Wilkie Collins. This is William M. Clark. So I actually have not read an actual biography on him. So I thought that would be a good thing to do. And I did get a couple H.G. Wells because I just also adore H.G. Wells, kind of father of sci-fi, right? So this is his book that I had never heard of or wasn't on my radar, The History of Mr. Polly, but I love this cover. And again, not very big. Love that. No clue what it's about, but we're gonna go for it. As well as this one, Brynhild or Show of Things by H.G. Wells. So again, and if you are interested, the bookstore is Blue Plate Books. I will put that in the description. It's got a To Jack with Love, Julia. Isn't that so cool? And this one does have a year, 1937. So just awesome. Just awesome. Totally gonna read that H.G. Wells book. So what do you think? That was a lot of books. That's a lot of new books in my life. So which one of these do you think I should bump up my TBR and read sooner rather than later? Definitely the pop-up book is absolutely going to get read in the next, couple weeks. Other than that, not positive when I'll get to the rest, but we will see. We will see. Let me know what you think. Are you having some good summer reads? Are you in a fun, lighthearted read, or are you doing one of those big chunky books? Let me know what you're going for this summer. I appreciate you. Take care. Like and subscribe.